So yeah, just bear with me, guys. We'll give YouTube a little showcase of the build in action, and we'll talk about it. So this is obviously max level simulacrum, and it's nothing to it. So yeah, YouTube, we're back at it with another 45-minute banger. Another build guide for you guys, a breakdown. You guys have probably heard of Autobomber. Some of you probably playing it. Some of you, you know, you have seen it. This isn't my build per se. You know, it's my spin on it for sure. Like I said, I've tested a lot of things the last week on it. I was fortunate enough to get gifted a Temporalis. Somebody that quit the game, was done until the next league. Essentially gave me that, gifted it to me, and so I've been able to play around and take Spark to, I would say, the ultimate level. That being said, I do think my other build is better overall, honestly, especially for like group play. But for like solo mapping, I mean, the simulacrum is kind of easy too, as you just saw, but I do bug out a lot. I like accidentally go through the fence and stuff at times, and then I have to try to either get back or I have to relog in order to fix it. So it's kind of annoying, but like I said, just so you guys are aware, my old build, if you followed my old build guides, we had almost 20,000 effective life pool, insane damage, and just everything, all the best the game has to offer, all in one. The only thing it was lacking was mobility. So, and like I said, I never thought I was gonna have a Temporalis, but because I was able to get one, I wanted to at least, you know, experience it. And as you can see, we're still along the lines of Spark. This is considered the ultimate, you know, the ultimate form of it. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna just break down obviously the gear, the passives, my traditional breakdowns. But I will try to explain things. So like I said, I'm not going to actually try to take 45 minutes. We're already on pace with that if you watch my other guides. But I'll try to do it a little quicker. But I do want to explain things because, like I said, I've been doing a lot of testing and trying different things. And I am playing on a Sork, right? If you look, I'm playing on a Stormweaver. Traditionally, most people playing Autobomber are playing on a Witch. It's a lot easier to get your crit chance up. And it just makes the build a little bit easier to build overall. Maybe better, I don't know, but I feel like I said, I could do everything one shot, full party bosses. I tested on like I can't remember his name, but the breach boss guy. Obviously we could do max level arbiter one shots. Like it does everything in the game with if you look at my skills, I literally don't have any, hence Autobomber. I have not a single skill equipped. You just hold down spacebar or tap spacebar if because it's so fast. And depending on, you know, what you're doing, you can actually run out of mana. But yeah, the build is wild. Obviously, if you haven't seen it, it's pretty special. I probably won't get to see it anytime soon. Hence why I kind of wanted to try it because of the Temporalis. But anyways, I'll break down the skills first, and then we'll move into the gear and then into the passives. But keep in mind, so I should, right off the rip, I should let you guys know, if you look at my crit chance, some of you guys that are playing Autobomber are probably gonna be like, what the heck, bro, you need way more. I've literally, so I am running Adorned, and I have been to 100% crit chance, like actual here. Granted, you do get more crit chance when you get your power charges. You'll see, right, I'm actually at 72 effectively, like when I'm actually moving around. I have been up all the way to 100% crit chance, and I've been dialing it back. I dialed it all the way back down to about 50, and now I brought it back up to about where it's at now. And it feels good where it's at, and a big reason for that, again, anybody on YouTube watching this, maybe you know more than I do and why this is, but for whatever reason, so like I said, I'm only at 60% crit chance, 72 effectively. But when I run, you can see I got, oh no, I actually just got a new Megalo. I had it anointed, but I forgot. I just got a better Megalomaniac, so it's actually on here now. But you can see, so first approach, that's what I was going to show you guys. I got first approach, vulgar methods, which is actually insane for a Megalomaniac diamond. Got it pretty cheap too. But a lot of people are sleeping on first approach. I don't know what it is. My buddy Justin told me, hey, check it out. I don't know where he got the idea from. I don't know if he got it from somebody else to give credit where credit's due. I don't know. Unfortunately, I just know my buddy Justin told me to try it. And for whatever reason, this first approach makes, like I said, I was able to drop from the 100% crit chance down to where I'm at now, and it feels essentially the same. That being said, I think it's the initial hit. Well, even still, I don't know. I don't know if it's counting as like 50%, like maybe it's bugged or something. It seriously, it feels like I have the 100% crit chance with that. Again, anointed, or I had it anointed until I just upgraded that megalomaniac. But again, anybody in YouTube watching this, if you know why, if it's bugged or if it's just, I don't know, it just, for whatever reason, I can't explain it. It feels as if I have 100% crit chance, when I'm using that. So yeah, that's one of the big things that, again, I'm not quite sure of, but definitely I've tried it with and without, and it just, the difference is extremely noticeable. That being said, so Malice, don't really need this. Persistence, I just put it in there because why not? Greater Lightning Bolt, you can see we're at 150k flat, which isn't insane. I've some people in my chat are at like 500k playing Witch, which is just absolutely insane. Because I feel like I'm pretty geared. Like I said, I have Adorn, whatever, but 150k is comfy. Even honestly, below 100k was fine, but the more you get, obviously, the more comfy it gets. And I'll explain why in a second here once we get through this. But so for support gems, running Spell Echo, Considered Casting, Concentrated Effect, and Lightning Mastery. And then for Blink, we're running, I'm running a level 14. And the reason I'm doing that is because, again, what I was talking about earlier, like when you're holding spacebar down, it's so fast and you teleport so far, or blink so far, that honestly a level 14 gem felt better to me just because it just was too much. You'd run into more things, get stuck more often, whatever. And honestly, like I said, I even kind of tamed down my cast speed because of that as well. But Blink level 14, you can do it higher. Obviously, you go further, faster, whatever. But I'm running Arcane Tempo in it, Second Wind, Wind Wave, and Unbreakable. And then Grim Feast, of course, one of the strongest things in the game, I feel like. I'm just putting Clarity on there because I do have enough for it. You can see I'm actually 5 spirit short of being able to put in, I think it's called Cannibalism. And then I would have, like, you know, everything min-maxed. Eventually, we might get that. We'll see. Charge Infusion, we're running that with a +1. And that gives us the extra 21% crit chance. And that's why you can see, like I said, when my effective crit chance is 72, my flat is 60. That's why. And then we got Lingering Illusion with Profusion on it. And then Cast on Critical, Cast on Dodge. Cast on Critical, I will say another thing I want to mention. I did a lot of testing. So I did try double dodge, meaning I had 2 casts on dodge. Essentially, all these support gems were in a cast on dodge with this cast on dodge, right? So it felt better for like Simulacrum for whatever reason. I think it's because every time I would blink, it would do the Frost Wall and the Spark. And for like fast clearing, like dense stuff like this, that's more, you know, in your face, it felt better. But for bossing, it didn't feel nearly as good. So I wanted to get to a point where the cast on critical is still comfy in here, which it is, right? As you guys just saw, it's not quite as good as the double dodge, but again, it's to a point where it's so easy. It's honestly probably not even worth the effort of switching. I was considering putting a second cast on dodge just to have down here and then just moving it down if I wanted to. Again, food for thought. If you want to try it for yourselves, test it out. But cast on critical was way better for like one-shotting bosses. Not even a question. And the reason for that is the cast on critical, right? So we're running Spark, double Spark actually. So I'll show you my cast on dodge. We have Spark, Impetus, Acceleration, Brutality, and another Spark. And you can see we're only running a level 5 gem because we got +5 from our wand, making it level 10. And there's multiple reasons for this. Some, you don't want a super high mana cost, right? And secondly, we're running Brutality so that essentially Spark is doing almost no damage. And the reason we want that is Spark is just a vessel to proc our cast on crit to get our frost walls to cast, and then we don't want the sparks to actually kill the frost wall, right? The whole point of the build is so that I'm running Choir of the Storm. So and again, that's why, like I said earlier, we'll get to why we want higher damage, greater lightning bolt. That is our main source of damage for killing frost wall to trigger the overkill damage, right? So overkill damage is kind of the bread and butter of the build. So, but you want that to be as high as possible. So in doing that, you can see my frost wall is actually a -1 corruption on purpose, right? So that it's a level 8, lower health, more overkill damage, right? So a level 8 frost wall, fortress, magnified effect, spell cascade, and icicle. And again, icicle is more, again, less life, meaning higher overkill damage. So it's all about getting your Choir of the Storm to be the thing to kill the frost wall to proc your overkill damage, and it creates a chain essentially. Especially if you have that 100% crit chance, it literally is essentially an infinite loop until whatever it is dies. That being said, again, for whatever reason, that first approach that I talked about earlier, like I showed you guys earlier, I'm only at 60% flat, 72 effective, meaning like once I'm ramped up because of the charge infusion. But for whatever reason, it feels like I have 100%. And we just actually did a map where a boss bugged out. It was like the bell boss or whatever. You know how he phases and you can't essentially one shot him. I literally would cast a spark, and once it procced, it had that infinite loop, which is crazy. It shouldn't, because I don't actually have the 100% crit chance, but it did. And again, so I don't know if something is bugged with first approach or what. Again, anybody know? Let me know what's going on there. But for whatever reason, it feels as if I have 100% crit chance, even though I don't. And it's solely because of that. Like I said, I've tried it. I had it anointed before I got an actual megalomaniac. I just got that today, so I even forgot about it. I had it anointed, and anointing different things and testing. And again, for whatever reason, that thing is insane. But anyways, so like I said, that's the cast on dodge. Like I said, the brutality, the point of that, like I said, is to essentially makes it so spark, it procs our cast on crit to proc our frostwall, but we don't want the spark to actually be the thing to kill the frostwall because it's such a low level, right? We want our greater lightning bolt from Choir of the Storm to be the thing to kill it, to proc the overkill damage, to create the insane damage the build has going on. Hopefully that makes sense. Like I said, a little bit longer. You know, these are just the way I do, guys. But again, I'm trying to give you guys food for thought. I'm trying to explain things that I've tested, the things that work, and trying to make it make sense for you guys, to help you guys better. You know, even if you don't do this to a T, maybe it can help you improve your build or whatever, right? But yeah, so that being said, that's skills. And then for gear, we'll go over real quick. I just got this today too. And I should mention, this is another noteworthy mention, the triple damage, the gain damage as extras. I had a wand, and again, we tested this with a full party breach boss, literally had a full 6-man, and they let me test out different wands and stuff. I had a wand with 2 extras. It had extra cold and extra lightning and a +5 lightning spell skills. And I had another one that was, and of course it had crit hit chance, right? But I had another one that was just triple extras, right? It had all 3. It had extra fire, extra cold, extra lightning, and it had no plus skills of lightning. And honestly, for one-shotting bosses, it was dude, it was a slightly bit better. I mean, they were so close, but obviously if you can get the triple with +5, that's best case, right? So yeah, like I said, don't feel bad if you can't get a +5 with a bunch of extra damage. Start off with a triple damage. You can get them relatively cheap without, even if you get like a +3 or whatever, right? And try to upgrade from there. But yeah, like I said, literally tested that with a full man party, and I'm pretty confident in that. Again, correct me wrong. People that know, keep in mind, this isn't my build per se. This is my testing. This is where I'm at with it in about a week. Obviously, I'm learning, still have a lot to learn. So again, if anything I'm saying is not necessarily accurate, which again, this is just my own testing and people helping in the chat, pretty confident in it. But again, I'm always all ears. If you know more or things that I missed or am missing, let me know in the comments. That being said, we got Aziris. That's how we're able to get some of the energy shield you can see right? And then with Grim Feast, obviously it doubles. I should also mention here, the plus spirit is pretty important. You can see, like I said here, I have 350 spirit, and if I had 355, then I could get every single min-max thing, like I was saying. You don't necessarily need clarity. You don't necessarily need cannibalism. So clarity is what? 10. Cannibalism is 15, right? So 25, negative 25. Is that right? Is clarity? Let me double check. I think clarity is 10. Yeah, 10. So 10 and 15, so negative 25. So it's essentially, you could get away with, what is it? 330? 335? Whatever it is, yeah. But, and then Choir of the Storm, talked about that earlier. It's kind of, I don't think there's any, like, they're kind of all the same. I mean, you could get a little bit better stat one, whatever, but they're pretty easy to get, I feel like, for the most part. Temporalis, though, like I mentioned earlier, like kind of the whole reason I went along down this rabbit hole of this build. Temporalis is probably the hardest thing to get. And I did hear, though, there is a way to build this without Temporalis. I don't think I would personally, like I said, I feel like my other build was better if I didn't have the Temporalis, but with Temporalis, the mobility is obviously crazy, right? I think that's probably the single most difficult item to get in the build overall. My rings, you can see, not necessarily insane for the build, but they're good, right? I get my basically I'm getting my resistances that I need. You can see both of them are pretty similar. I got fire and cold res here, and then I got lightning res here, and then a little bit of all res, and that helps get my cap. And then I have double cast speed, and again a little bit lower cast speed, because with ingenuity it's so fast. It can be hard to control, honestly, at times. Then obviously we got a little bit of rarity going on. And then max mana. You could switch out the max mana for like an extra damage, like extra cold damage. Like you could run cold and lightning damage. I'm just running lightning damage and then the mana. You know, if you needed more damage, that's a way to do it. And then obviously the ingenuity goes hand in hand with the rings, right? I'm at an 89%. That was from my old build, transferred over into this one. And we kind of talked about trample toe earlier, the overkill damage. Keep in mind, the 37% is a corrupt. It's 30 by default. You need to get a corrupted 37% to get it to that 37%, just so you guys are aware. And then for my scepter, I'm running, again, it's mostly the spirit, right? You got to get enough spirit to get whatever it is you're trying to reach. And yeah, so mana is good. I feel like strength and int is also good because int is just more mana, right? And strength helps offset, so you don't need to use so many strength nodes in your passive tree, whatever. Again, just a min-max perspective. But the most important thing I would say is spirit, and mana does help. But yeah, gloves, we're running max life, which you can see I'm actually running chaos inoculation, but the max life gives me more energy shield because of its Ares. So I got max life, max mana, obviously energy shield, rarity, crit bonus. And then I got a little bit of fire res to just to top it off. You can see I'm actually over now, but that's because before, when I was changing jewels and whatever, I didn't have enough because I didn't have enough corrupted ones, right? But with my corruption, you can see my resistances are now way over cap. I guess my lightning isn't way over cap, but my fire is now. And obviously I got quite a bit of cold too. And that's through, like, once we get to the jewels, you'll see why. But yeah. That's everything here, right? Rings, everything, yeah. There's no weapon swap on this one. I'm running so I don't get froze for the charm. And melting maelstrom, I would say, is still pretty important. It's just one of the best things in the game, honestly, if you're running anything mana related. Yeah, but gear wise, that's where it's at. Now to the good stuff, the passives. My passives are probably going to look quite a bit different than most. But again, I am a Sork. I'm just experimenting, messing around. And this is where it is at the moment. You can see I'm running the Shaper of Storms with the double shock still, because I'm a Stormweaver. You know, Arcane Surge, Force of Will, right? And then I go over here to save a little bit on points and then come around. I go back down here for Critical Overload, because again, we're trying to get, we do want some crit chance, right? We want to get, I'm trying to find that sweet spot. Right now, it feels good at 60. feels a little bit better than 50. Even 50 felt pretty good, but 60 does feel a little bit better. I'm going to try to get around 75, 80, like effectively. I'm at 72 right now. So like I said, I'm still going to play around with it, but for now, this is where it's at. Critical overload, like I said, come up here, sudden escalation. Again, crit chance, crit stuff. And then we go over here. And the reason I go over here is because obviously we got mind over matter, we got jewel slots, and you can see we get more crit stuff with going over here, and then we pick up a couple extra to top it off. And the reason why we're doing that is you'll see I'm running adorned, right? And so I have 3 different types of jewels, I guess. I keep calling them gems, but jewels that I'm running. Oh, actually, I grabbed another one over here even. But so over in this side, I got max energy shield to get me up to a decent amount. You can see I'm actually kind of low. I was at about 3K. I feel like 3K definitely feels more comfy, but at the moment, this is where it's at because, again, we're pushing more damage. We're more on the damage side of it at the moment. But I still have a little bit here, like I said, max energy shield and crit hit chance. And again, the reason for that is it's really hard to get crit hit chance, especially on a Sork, hence why most people play on a Witch. But with Adorned, it's definitely, like I said, I've been to the 100% with my Sork. So it's definitely possible. You just have to give up quite a bit of crit damage, but you can run Marilagos or something like that. I can't remember the actual name. I think it's Marilagos, something like that. There's a unique set of gloves that essentially give you crit hit chance, but also make you just have a flat, straight up 300 crit damage bonus. And that's what I was using when I did the 100% crit chance version. But I will say, like I said, for whatever reason, I keep saying it, the first approach, it makes it feel like I have the 100% crit chance, and then I'm able to get even more crit damage bonus the way I'm doing it this way, right? So that being said, so again, I'm just trying to explain everything on topic the best I can to give you guys the most information I could possibly give you based on what I've tested so far. But so crit hit chance is pretty much on every single one of my jewels, but we'll swap out, like, so max energy shield. If you go up here, you can see, so we got actually spell damage and crit damage bonus, double damage. I'll show you my unique jewels in a second here. You can see we got crit hit chance and spell damage, crit hit chance, spell damage. So most of my stuff, and then and this one is very important though as well. So you need at least 1 recover mana on kill. I would say for sure, no question, you need at least 1. And for me, this is the one I got: recover mana and then a little bit of energy shield. Obviously the plus dex is just a lucky corrupt. And most of these I did corrupt myself, got a little lucky. And again, a large majority, as you see, whether I got spell damage, the max energy shield or whatever it is, I'm trying to get as much crit hit chance as I can in addition to that stuff. But I did add, just to get a little bit more of a bump over here somewhere. You can see, like I said, I got spell damage, crit damage bonus, and spell damage, crit damage bonus. I only got a couple of those, I think. Yeah, I only got 2. I think I only got 2 of those. But again, it's just, I'm trying to find that sweet spot because of the first approach thing of like, how much crit do I really need? And then just min-maxing the amount of damage I can pump with it, right? But that in terms of jewels, the magic jewels, that's all they are. And then for the unique jewels, we're running controlled metamorphosis. And I'm doing that because I can grab pure power. For me, because I am running a little bit in, it just gives me for a single point. It's a decent increase in damage. I get controlling magic as well. Saves a bunch of points, so I don't have to go there to get, again, more crit hit chance. But I also get lightning quick and drench. And you can see the reason why I want these 2 for sure. And I have another one over here so that I can grab this. But you'll see if I hover over it, this is where I put my Against the Darkness, right? So again, like I said, when it came to the wand, the damage is extra is huge for the build. Like, it's one of the biggest scalers, even more so than the plus skills. I feel like plus skills is very important. But extra damage, as much as you can get is I would say a 1-for-1, if not even slightly more important in terms of your scaler. But so yeah, I put it over here because, like I said, with this, I'm able to get drenched, lightning quick, and then I go down here and grab rune, and that gives me increased spell area damage, which it helps the build. And then, like I said, I get 4 total with my Against the Darkness. And I just feel like this is a much better option overall for me. And again, this kind of goes similar to my old not quite exact, but similar to my old build as well. You know, I use the controlled metamorphosis to grab this stuff. But yeah, it's just the way I'm doing it to min max the way I want to. Then you'll see over here, I actually have another thing here. And that is, where's that one at? Where did I put that guy at? That's my megalomaniac. Where did I put that thing at? Oh, right here. So my from nothing, I got a from, and this was dirt cheap. So from nothing, and I got passes in the radius of Eldritch Battery, right? Can be allocated without being connected. So that's how I'm getting this ring here. And again, it's more so to get branching bolts, because I mean, I could technically get rid of that and run, and I might try that actually to free up. Again, I'm testing many things, but in doing this, I get the branching bolts, and I save just 1 point there. But I do get these extra 2 with this, just to have the 100% chance to chain. And again, branching bolts, I already have it no matter what for the to min-max the Against the Darkness. So this just seemed like the best way to do that. And then because I'm able to grab these for essentially, you know, 1 point each. You can see I have almost 2,500 max mana. So grabbing that actually gives me a decent increase in damage. And then raw mana as well gives me a little bump in damage and a little bit more survivability, because you can see my energy shield is a little bit lower than I'd like. I'd like to be around 3K, but having a little bit extra in the mana area, you know, offsets that, and not only offsets it in terms of my effective life pool, but it gives me a little bit of damage bonus too, the way I'm doing it. So yeah, that being said, we got controlled metamorphosis. Oh, and I should say on the controlled metamorphosis, you need it to be a massive ring. That's very important in order to reach this the way I'm reaching it. And then, like I said, Against the Darkness and from nothing. And then the megalomaniac, like I kind of showed earlier, talking about the first approach. Vulgar Methods, I feel like, is very important, again, for crit hit chance. You have, I think it's called Barbaric Strength, which is crit bonus damage, which is also another good option. Storm Charged, which is what I currently have anointed on my amulet, like you guys saw. But for whatever reason, like I said, first approach seems to be just, for whatever reason, it's awesome. So I picked that up when I saw it. First approach, Vulgar Methods, can't go wrong there. 2 super big passives, I feel like. So yeah, I'm running that. And then my Adorned, I am running a 93%. I did upgrade that. That's pretty expensive. One of the more expensive items for sure, aside from the Temporalis itself. I did, though, I will point out, I only had, I think it was an 82%er when I did the 100% crit hit chance. But again, when it comes to that 100% crit chance, I had almost no crit damage bonus in order to do it. And I had to get a lot of jewel sockets in order to do it. But that's why I ran those Marilago. I think they're Marilago. I honestly, I hope I'm saying it right. But they're I think they're called Marilagos. They're unique gloves that give you 300 just base flat 300 crit damage bonus no matter what. But yeah, again, I was only using an 82%, I believe, when I did that. So it is achievable even without a 90% adorned. Anybody trying to go that route. And then you'll see I'm running Chaos Inoculation, and I feel like that helped. I mean, a lot of people aren't, but I feel like, because again, my effective life pool is not that much, and having negative chaos resist, if I get hit by anything chaos, it can one-shot depending on what it is. So for me running Sork, I can actually run Chaos Inoculation, and it felt much better because I tested it with and without. And for me, I feel like that 1 point, because I'm running around this way anyway, just felt good. And then again, picking up crit stuff here, crit stuff here, crit stuff here. Wildstorm, this is a nice increase in overall damage right here, these nodes. I did actually anoint this at 1 point as well on my amulet just to try to save points, but the lightning damage, especially with it on my rings and stuff, like, it's scaling pretty good to just pick all those up. And then we got Throatseeker again, more crit stuff. Come down here, more crit stuff, right? And then we finish off like I showed you with the jewels. But yeah, it passes, like I said, might look a little wild, and I've tried it even more wild than it currently is. Like I said, I think I had almost every single slot of jewels at one point, just messing around. But so far, overall, this definitely feels the most comfy, feels the best. And I keep stressing that first, whatever it is. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, let me know what is going on with that. Why does it feel so insane, that single thing? just the way it interacts with the initial first hit being, I don't know, it's wild. But I feel like the weird thing is if it's 50% increased crit hit chance, that's only like what, 5%, 6%, maybe 7%. So realistically, it only put me at like 80%. So I don't know why it's doing the 100% chain loop. And like I said, we tested that earlier on a boss. We didn't intentionally bug the boss. Like I said, it actually, because of the 100% chain, it was like freezing the boss, perma stunning it, and couldn't do anything about it. But yeah, passives, like I said, that's it. I don't think there's really much else, right, to talk about. I can show you guys my atlas, I guess, real quick. We went over skills, gear, tried to explain everything the best I can. Like I said, another 45-minute banger, maybe. I actually don't know how long this one went, but it went a while. That's just how mine are. I'll show you guys my atlas real quick. If you guys want to see that, this is what I'm running. Pretty much the same tier as I've been running. You know, the breach is still the same. You can see I maxed out the whatever, the ritual stuff. Obviously the simulacrum, bosses. I haven't really done that. I did a bunch of expedition logbooks, but only found the boss once so far. And then obviously we got max arbiter. So yeah, that's how it looks. That's how I'm running it at the moment for the atlas. And yeah, if I missed anything, you know, you come through the stream, twitch.tv/Merkadis, come kick it, follow, chill, hang out. If you got any other insight, any other info, I'm all ears. Or like I said, just come kick it. Either way, I appreciate you guys. Hopefully this helps. And yeah, good luck with it. And I will see you guys again in the next one. Much love, y'all.